All right, let's hop back into Bitcoin and see what happened over the weekend. I'm sure most of you by now already have seen the dump that has been going on over the weekend and the end of last week, of course. We can see here, we're on the 30-minute on Bitcoin, that we've seen that this supply chain has been playing out very nicely, leading us towards the downside. Let's take a look at our daily time frame. We're going to go back and reiterate from last week's several streams that we are in this bigger time frame range. We're taking this bigger market structure pull from the last previous low to the previous all-time high. And we can see that we've breached the 0.5 or the equilibrium of this range. And now we are finally wicking down into our uh, point of interest or a zone that we've been waiting for weeks now. Um, this range or range of consolidation we have not yet come back to, and this is the point now to where we want to start looking for longs because we are finally in the discount section of this range. However, we still need to get down further lower into this range to get to the extreme discount section. So we do have points of interest here. We have two very nice order blocks. This order block has the fair value gap that we have already hit currently. It does have a smaller time frame order block here, as well as down here with other levels with confluence. We have naked points of control, high volume nodes, weeklies, and daily levels, all coinciding with these order blocks. So I like both of these levels as far as a swing level or levels to watch for our structure to continue to be bullish to the upside. So what does that look like? On a higher time frame, we can see that structure is going like this. But we want to see it come somewhere in here and hold to continue to a new all-time high. So that is the larger structure at hand that we are wanting to see play out. We can see here on the weekly, again, we still have not come down to the previous all-time high just yet. Let's go down to a 4 hour so we can zoom in a little bit. So over the weekend, we were trapped in this very internal range. We were basically hovering around the point of control and the 0.5 equilibrium of this smaller range from this low to this high. We are waiting for a pullback or to take this liquidity to look for a potential long down here. Of course, when we got to that level, it decided not to give us any market structure breaks, and it didn't have any confirmation that we had strength on the bull side or any buying pressure at all at that point. So again, we're just squeezing down further. And we're getting so close to this level here. Why would we just stop here? It would be less probable to stop here than go down further. Take out more longs, take out more liquidity, have some slight pumps that we're seeing now for potential people to get long and then wipe them out even more. So let's see what's gotten tapped here. So this point of control, naked point of control, it is done. It's gotten tapped. This naked point of control got tapped to the dollar. That would have been a great limit long if you wanted to catch a knife, but I do not trade like that personally. So we'll go ahead and remove that. This PATH is just the previous all-time high that we put in right here. So that is the first area of this big demand zone. So until we hit 73,951, I don't feel like we are going to have any type of reversal. However, we are coming into this fair value gap that was left behind from this demand. So it does have potential for a bounce here, but ultimately, do I think that this is where the accumulation is going to end? No, I don't. Um, go back in here on the 30 minutes. We can go ahead and remove all these supply boxes. We do not need that on the charts anymore. Let's clean things up. We still have these levels here. We have this daily that we did see it bounce from. It lost it, then tried to reclaim and lost it again. Currently, that's a nice wick to the downside. That might give us some fuel. Could kind of see a V-shaped recovery here if we were to launch out of there. However, it is worthy to note that we have a massive gap on the CME futures on Bitcoin. So could we come all the way back up here to fill this gap? Very, very possible. If we also take a quick look at ES, we see that we also opened up with a gap, very, very strong gap down, and we hit the 0.5 of that gap already. Closed below the daily open, and we couldn't close back above this daily open. So will they be able to recover this, or are they going to just come up and fill the rest of this gap, then go back down? So what you would want to see here is you have the PD low, previous day low, as well as this gap fill. If we're going to have any sign of strength at this point, you would want to see it start reclaiming. So before I would entertain a long, I would want to see this level reclaimed, and then we're going to shoot to wipe out those shorts there. Getting back to Bitcoin, that's just a little context as Bitcoin is going to follow the stock market, ES. So let's take a look back at our ranges here that we have on the chart. We can obviously take this range out, and we are now having a nice deviation of this range here. There's just no structure coming up here. So if this comes back up here, we either need to start ranging here and building some structure to break, or it could just be a very quick V-shaped recovery. Yeah, we do have an 18-hour order block right on this naked point of control and around that daily. I will be looking for that level. Let's go ahead and set an alert before it gets to that level. Check out the daily and the 3-day. The 3-day has a massive order block there. Massive. And that daily and weekly right here. Put an alert right before those two at 80.6 and 81,000. That's going to be the very start of this 3-day order block, as well as that daily and weekly level. So that's something we can look to short as well. Right now, this does look like a decent potential SFP. The 4-hour did close below, but if this is gonna, this is like gonna be a high time frame move. So I'd like to see where this 12-hour closes at, as well as the daily, of course. The 12-hour and daily is going to give us a great idea how the rest of the week is going to look. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the calendar. Oh yeah, we do have some fun this week. We have FOMC on Wednesday, CPI, as well as PPI, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So at the end of the week, we could see some volatility. So maybe we come back out up, take out some of these levels, take out the weekend traders, and then have another crash down. That's what I would prefer to see. Let's see. I can't not see this line of liquidity building up to the top side here. Everyone needs to keep their attention on this because there's so many shorts building up that could just be completely wiped out. Everyone is in fear and panic mode right now, and this is really going to be potential areas to buy when people are max pain and max fear. And we already know that long-term players in the market, long-term investors, are already trying to get out. So we have a lot of high time frame players that are selling here. However, if you do get into any longs, definitely cover your long or be ready to take, be ready to move your stop loss to break even, or be okay with a loss, because I'm sure that we will start wicking both sides to take out liquidity for things to run. And of course, the volatility of the news and the economy, we can definitely see that happen a lot. So, my levels to the downside, they've been on the charts for a while now. These are the only areas that I'm looking for, this area and this area, until, again, we breach this low. Everything is still bullish to me. Until we break this low with a candle close, preferably on a daily time frame, so a daily candle close below this, yeah, I'm not getting overly bearish. Because we are still maintaining structure very nicely while everyone's freaking out. So it is actually a great opportunity here. So when we come down to these levels, I really don't want to see something just poke in and poke right back out. It would preferably be better to come in here and start to form a range, take them out again, and then go. I want to see massive amounts of institutional accumulation here at this point, and they're only going to be able to enter in with taking out people's liquidity with limit orders. So they're going to be absorbing other people's shorts over and over and over again. And so you might see some absorption here, then they send the price back up, absorb it back down, and then knock out all these people and just continue to build up their longs over a period of time. So could that be this week? Could we just range here for a week? Yeah. Could we range here for a couple months? Absolutely. We could see a big range through this whole, 60s and 70s area here. All right, let's go down a little bit lower on the time frames to see if we can see any other short zones available. I am going to move that down to encompass that order block right here. That's coming from that last buy to sell. That's so we also have that daily and that naked point of control there. Let's see if we can find an order block here. And we're probably running into an order block here at this daily as well. We do have that 3-hour order block that we're currently in. Okay, so let's follow. Okay, let's go ahead and mark this one out so we can see how supply is holding up. So we hit supply here now at the daily. Just back tested that daily. Okay, and let's go little further down. There is really nothing here that I see. And I'm not going to take anything under a 5 minute. Yeah, we do have a double order block here. We will mark out both of those. So we see that order block. And that is right aligning with this daily and weekly. All right, let's check volume really quick. Let's check it from this low all the way through the range. Let it load. Okay, very nice. So we do have that point of control. Lines well with the naked point of control from the sessions profiles. And then we also do as value area low. That lines up well with this order block here. Pull that alert down just a little bit. So we want to see how this supply holds. But I like both of these areas for a short. Kind of lines up decently with that trend line as well. I prefer this one right here. This one gets 5 check marks for me. We might get a little short scalp here, but I think this is going to be the main short right here around that 83,000. All right, let's take it from this high. Still same results. Volume is still the same. We'll take it from this previous high as well. Still the same results. So that gives us a lot of confluence over and over again throughout the entire volume of this area. Now, what if we did one a little bit more local and didn't take it through the range? So we're going to be just taking the fixed range of the smaller range here. We're still seeing that point of control right in the center there. Of course, you can see it without even pulling that range because you see so much concentration of trading right here. So I definitely like this one the best. That would be where I'm going to be eyeballing a short if we can make it back up there. So that's about it on the longs and the shorts on Bitcoin. Let's see how today plays out and we'll take it from there.